All right, let's talk about Kirk Cousins and this Atlanta Falcons offense that's all of a sudden rolling. And, listen, we can sit here and say, oh, it's Carolina. Every team has looked great against this Carolina defense. That certainly, listen, it's undeniable. There's been some bad defensive plays. In fact, we could even start off with something like that, where this is going to be Kyle Pitts running a deep shot, usually designed to take the corner further deep, and then this route trying to get in between the two players covering over the middle of the field in that area. That's the one Cousins wants to look towards. However, when Cousins takes a snap and he looks in this direction, he's throwing deep because Carolina just screws this up. They have three players covering the underneath route, no one covering the deeper route, and the reason is because the corner, I think, just got his assignment screwed up. He moved further in, and because of this, no one is deep, and, Cousins makes this throw, not a difficult one to make, and they're able to pick up a huge gain. Kyle Pitts, you see his speed there, see why he was drafted so high back in the day. But again, yes, it's totally fair to look at this and say blown coverage by Carolina. It is. It was a blown coverage by Carolina. But also, Cousins has to notice this, right? And something I talk about all the time on this channel is good quarterbacks take advantage of their opponent's mistakes. And yes, the opponent made a mistake, but Cousins was able to notice it, and that's kind of what he's been doing pretty consistently. But also going over here, that's not all that was happening. There were plays like this, this is going to be a zone coverage concept. You have a receiver running a deep route, another receiver running kind of a curl route more towards the top of the screen. So when Cousins takes a snap, the deep route takes the corner away, but as of right here, there are a couple of Carolina players who are in position to cover the route you see on your screen. So at first glance, this might not seem too open. However, just looking at it right now, you can kind of see that there might be a bit of a window towards the top of the screen. If you can lead him up that way, that could be a way that you can make this work. And that's what the best quarterbacks do, is they don't just look at who to throw to or when to throw to, but also how to make the throw. Watch Cousins lead London up. London makes a great catch and is able to run and pick up a good amount of yards. Again, that's a throw a lot of quarterbacks might just not even make, but for Cousins, not only does he make it, he makes it work and gets a big completion. They get an explosive play out of that somehow, which is, again, kind of what makes this work. And hey, it helps when you're throwing to guys like Drake London and Kyle Pitts. That makes these plays work a little bit better. And then also stuff like this, which is kind of a combination of not the best defense, but also Atlanta taking advantage. So this is going to be a cover 3 zone. Pay no attention to the yellow lines you see on the screen. That's what the broadcast put on the screen. That I had nothing to do with that. That yellow line, though, that now I have put on the screen, the more over-the-middle route right here, it's just Kyle Pitts running further in, essentially being a distraction on this play, trying to get the corner to follow him in. Because, again, you have players covering over the middle of the field, but the corner is the only one covering deep on that side of the field. Because then you have that route right there. It's Darnell Mooney, who's lined up in the backfield, will run a route trying to get open in that section, and that's how this play can work, and watch how it does work. Cousins takes a snap, the corner does move in, Cousins is able to make the throw, Mooney makes the grab, and honestly, almost looked like they could have gotten a touchdown perhaps, had that gone a little bit more smoothly, but still, again, sort of an easy 15-yard gain right there. Anytime you can scheme those up, that just makes running an offense that much easier, right? Getting a couple of those in drive is how you can score touchdowns, and it's worked really well here. And also going over to something like this, listen, we talk all about the star players on this roster, the Drake London, the Kyle Pitts, the Darnell Mooney, but sometimes it's role players stepping up as well, like Ray McLeod, who has been making nice plays for Atlanta. This is going to be one of them. It's a 3rd down and 5. It's a, cover 4 zone. You have this over the middle route. You see Cousins takes a snap, and it's well-ran route. McLeod's getting in a gap in coverage, and Carolina isn't playing this horribly. They're trying to close this gap as quickly as they can, but usually the way you beat these types of coverages is getting the ball out of your hands quickly. For Cousins, the ball's already on its way, so when it gets there, McLeod's able to make the grab. They're able to pick up a first down. Again, this is good stuff by Cousins. I know it's the Panthers defense, but it always kind of drives me crazy when people say, it's a bad defense, so whatever, can't take anything away from it. It's like, no, you can still watch the game and see how he played and look at, the plays he was making and give him credit when he makes plays like this. Sure, the box scores could sometimes be misleading, but honestly in this one, I didn't think it was that misleading. I thought he was very good in this one. Like this plays another one where it's going to be kind of a wild concept where you have 4 eligible receivers lined up towards the offense's left right here, including a halfback who's almost lined up as a tight end right here. That's Bijan Robinson, who's going to start off blocking and then run an underneath route. But you see, again, when Cousins takes a snap, I mean, this is just everyone running their route effectively, where that's the player I've circled in yellow who Cousins wants to throw to, but everyone is contributing on this play. You have 4 well-ran routes, which, every other route is designed to keep Carolina players away from the guy who I've circled in yellow, and it's working. It's not wide open by any stretch of the imagination, but it is open. Cousins makes this throw. They're able to pick up a big completion right there. I mean, that's good stuff. And also, love this camera angle. I don't get why this isn't the typical camera angle for football games. I want to see everything that's going on, not just the the quarterback and offensive line. So good stuff all around, including by the camera people. And also, one more guy I want to give a shout out to, Tyler Algier, who, one of the more underrated running backs in the league. I remember I put him as a top 10 running back entering this season when I did my top 10 list, and I don't regret it at all. I think he's a really good player. Had a huge day in this one, including this play. Watch how Cousins is going to hand the ball off to Algier. Again, at this point, it's over. I mean, this play is not looking good, looking like he's going to get tackled right at the line of scrimmage. We always discuss what is the value of a running back, how valuable is someone like this? Well, on this play, watch him make that move, get around that Carolina player, and he gets nearly into the end zone for a touchdown right there. Don't worry, he did still score a touchdown a couple plays later, so that's where his one touchdown came from in the game. But yeah, I mean, obviously Bijan Robinson is a monster. We've talked about him a ton. But Atlanta doesn't just have one elite running back. They have 2. So just everything working right now. So yeah, I mean, really a good game here by the Falcons. And I get it. It's the Panthers' defense. And look at basically every week we're coming out of the game like, wow, that offense played great against Carolina. Definitely that has to be factored in. But still, for one thing, this isn't just 1 week now. We've seen this from Atlanta. This is back-to-back weeks where we've seen them look really good. And the other thing is they're just using all of their pieces in a way that we kind of were questioning why they weren't able to do earlier with Arthur Smith, of like, why can't you just get all these, however you feel about guys like Kyle Pitts and Drake London and Bijan Robinson and Darnell Mooney. I think people do have different opinions on those players. They're all still quality players at the very least. And so why can't you get them more involved in some of these situations? Well, in this game, they were all involved, and getting them all involved, I think, can go a really long way for this team, who, again, continues to be first in the NFC South and is now 3-0 in the NFC South, and they, with how injured the Saints are and the Panthers situation, I mean, if they can beat the Buccaneers in 2 weeks, they could go 6-0 in the division. That usually wins you most divisions if you can do that. So it's at least possible. Again, the Tampa Bay game should be a good one. But yeah, that's what I think about all this. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts on Kirk Cousins and how he played with this Falcons offense? Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.